We have the tiniest bit of snow, and if we're lucky, it will snow a bit more today. If you're wondering what this is, I plan to use it as a kind of notebook to make literary notes when I'm reading. I'm not a huge fan of writing into books because I sometimes like to lend my books to friends, but I also do want to keep my thoughts while reading. So if there's something that I want to remind myself of or that I want to keep from this book that I'm reading, I want to have a way of reminding myself without interrupting the reading process too much. So my thought process with this little notebook was that I can use this pen and eraser to underline things lightly and then place some kind of marker, which I have these really beautiful autumn colors here, to remind myself where the underlining is. And if I want to write some thoughts out, I can place one of these sticky notes. These are see-through, so when you place them over text, you can still read the text. So you could also place them down and then do your underlining on the sticky note, or you can like write down your thoughts and then just leave them there. And also more sticky notes to write down thoughts, so then when I'm finished with the book, I can transfer all of my underlined sentences or thoughts or anything that I kept in the book. I can transfer that into my little notebook and clean out the book again, like erase all of the underlinings, remove my markings and sticky papers, so that the book is clean again and I could potentially give it away or give it to someone else to read, and I still have my thoughts in here. So I think something like this is called an annotation system. I use this kind of fancy wrapping paper and some different techniques to put everything in here. A notebook is just held in there with a elastic, so it's the same principle that I used for my traveler's notebook making that I did a few months ago. I still use my traveler's notebook daily. It's my daily journal. I do have my to-do lists in there, my journal, my diary, and some other lists, and where I keep my ideas for any kind of creative projects. But this is now for my reading. That was a really good project to do. I have very exciting news regarding this cardigan. It is almost done. I just finished one side of the button band, which is this one. This is the side where the buttons are going to be attached, and now I have to do a bit of math to work out where to place the buttonholes. That isn't my favorite part, but it also needs to be done, so yeah. A slight change of plans. I just looked at myself in the mirror wearing the cardigan, and I decided against the double knit button band. It isn't really working for this type of cardigan, so I am unraveling it, and then I'm going to do a 2x2 ribbed button band, just very simple. So yeah, it will take a bit longer, but it is probably worth it because somehow the button band doesn't cinch in. It's kind of elongated. I don't know how that happened because I went down 2 needle sizes, but that's just how it is sometimes. So yeah. It's very cold and there is a bit of snow, so it's a really nice morning. We also just met 2 very nice and cute little dogs, and Finn had the opportunity to play a bit and to socialize, which was lovely. Also, I don't know if you can see, but I finished the hat, the boucle hat that I was knitting. It is done and it is perfect. It's very warm, it looks good, it fits amazing, it is very soft. So I'm more than happy with that. I also finished the cardigan. It's currently blocking, so I'm going to show it when it's done. Now I'm going back home and have some coffee to start the day. It's the next morning and I am out before sunrise, and the sun will rise above the Alps in a few minutes. So I thought I would go up and watch that. So these are the Swiss Alps, but if you go this way, if we could see a tiny bit more in this direction, we could see the Austrian Alps, so we could look into Austria, and then there's Switzerland, and if there's really good weather we can see the Mont Blanc in this direction, so France, which is really cool. It is finally done. I have finished the cardigan for the second time. Everything is good now. The sleeves got a tiny bit longer from blocking. It is pretty soft. I can wear it next to skin. It is very warm and it kind of looks like the weather right now because it is pretty frosty and cold and we do have a tiny bit of snow, but you can mostly see the trees and the branches and all of these different grey and brown tones. So I feel like this is the perfect winter cardigan. It looks like a foggy, cold winter day. I'm really tired right now, if you can't tell. I'm not doing that great today. I need a day of rest. But since I finished the cardigan and the hat that I was working on, I started some new projects. First one are these socks. This is just yarn that I found in our local supermarket for €1 for 50 grams of like standard sock wool, which is really good. It was labeled as some kind of sporty yarn. I don't really know, but I was just intrigued by this little skein and I didn't really know what kind of pattern it would make, but it turned out to be just self-striping, which is fine. Then I also started this project, which is just beautiful. Look at these colors. They're one of the most amazing colors I have ever seen. And this is going to be a kind of hood. Not like in this bonnet style, but like a real hood that could potentially be attached to a sweater. That's what I'm planning to do. This is 1x1 ribbing, but twisted, and I'm twisting both the knit and the purl stitches, which is not the fastest way to knit, but it looks just really, really nice. This is really fun, and I really like working on this. So that's what I'm going to do today.